Ian.
And Jake?
Hello, Jake.
Well, hello, Dave and Ian.
It is Jake from RacersHQ. What are you doing here?
Why are you in my house?
When did you get here?
Friend of the show, Jake.
Have you not heard of squatters' rights before?
Oh, you've been in my house for 3 years, maintaining the property?
No, I'm actually in town for work. My day job brought me here, and thank you guys for letting me come by and spend some time with you. Looking forward to hanging out.
Yeah, absolutely. So long time listeners of the show will remember that that us and Jake were together at Road America a few years ago for a chump car race, now known as Champ Car for reasons, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that was a blast because you guys were on the crew together, and I got to do some mediocre driving. It was great. And then, now you're here. Yeah. And we're going to drag you to the kart track after this.
Yeah, so we've had you on the show for Racers HQ. We had you on the show for Rags to Races.
Yeah.
We were on your show.
Yeah.
Friend of you're our most recurring guest.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that
is true.
Yeah, you're our Bob Newhart. Isn't he the one that would always come on Letterman at the drop of a hat?
Maybe. I don't know. There was a bunch of them.
old.
That is an old reference.
Hey, I used to stay up very late as a child and watched way too much Letterman.
I did too.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get started. I want to ask about what's going on with Racers HQ, and you were doing some sponsorship stuff for a while there.
So last year I was fortunate enough to be able to sponsor 3 different drivers through Racers HQ. Had a friend of the show, Matt Murphy. He was my iRacing driver. Davin Sturdivant, who's from Kart Pulse, if you're familiar with the podcast there, or I forget the other podcast name he's on, Road. I can't remember. Sorry, Davin, but he was my kart racer, and I had a autocrosser, Karen Thomas, and was able to sponsor all of them, give them a little bit of cash to continue on and move up in the ranks in racing. They all did outstanding. Karen Thomas, actually, for her first time ever at Nationals, got her SCCA jacket at the Autocross National Finals.
That's awesome.
So tell me about the jacket. What is the SCCA jacket?
So when you win a national championship in your class in SCCA, you don't get a trophy, you don't get a plaque or anything. You actually get a jacket that says you're a winner. It's the only way you can get that jacket. You can't go buy it off the SCCA store or anything like that. So it's a really big deal if you're ever at a SCCA sanctioned autocross event. If you see someone wearing a national champion jacket, pay attention to them because they have already won, been the best in the country in their class.
Wow. Okay. Or murdered the best in their country.
I mean, there's that
too. It's like a big dude in a tiny jacket.
What?
Yeah. Did it my Camaro.
But yeah, unfortunately, I had to take a job. I took a position with work that requires a lot of travel. So I've kind of put things on hold for the time being, just because it's very hard to consistently and make quality podcasts in variety of different hotel rooms with different internet connection speeds and everything else. Especially when I'm trying to interview somebody via Skype or Google Hangouts, it makes it really, really challenging to get good quality audio. I did try it for a while. I know I had James on James Chartres, Kanga Motorsports. He was on several times. It's just kind of I needed to put it on hold until I get to a point where I'm in a more stable place and can sit down and write more and work with guests and get more quality podcasts up.
Sure.
And I'm working on that, hopefully here in the near future. I'll actually say it here for the first time in public. I'm actually also working on a book.
Oh, really? Nice. That's awesome.
First of all, I appreciate that you regard our podcast as public. It's a bit of a stretch.
You basically just told it to yourself when you listened to your own episode.
Okay, fair enough. But I started writing a few months back. I'm not very far into it. I'm trying to work on it as much as I can in my free time. But what it's going to come down to is a beginner's guide to getting off the couch and into a race car, no
Nice.
matter what your budget is. Kind of sort of along the rags to races, and how I've taken Racers HQ is getting people off their butt and into a car. So I'm going to go a little bit more in depth than just road racing. I'm going to be working with some people who do circle track stuff, drag
cool.
racing, drifting. Of course, sim racing is in there, karting. I'm going to have a little bit of the basics on everything and a breakdown of what kind of a budget you should be expecting to be spending in each form, and the cheapest way to go about getting involved with the different types of motorsport.
That's really cool, man. When you have a book or draft or something's ready to go, we'd love to talk about it on the show. Yeah.
You guys will be one of the first ones to get one of the early copies, and let me know. Give me some notes.
Yeah, love
absolutely.
it. Yeah, If there's a section about it in, a section in it about podcasting, just let us know.
Right. Or like in Dave's area of expertise, like pit crew preparation, like pit crew snack table.
Yep.
Hydration. Bringing coffee.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's better. Anything's better than what they had at Road America.
Oh,
I'm telling you, Wisconsin coffee is a thing. That is a real thing, and it's like, it's a terrible, awful thing that exists in the world.
Wisconsin coffee is. I'm sorry, we're going to talk about this. Wisconsin coffee is that thing where you're like, it's like that movie. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but like you read bad reviews of it, and you're like, surely it can't be that bad. Like, like Tom Hardy and like, Janine Garofalo are in this. How bad could it be, right? And then you walk out and you're like, whoa, that was horrible.
Right. Well, and that's a good analogy too, because in your analogy, you've watched the whole movie. You didn't walk out early.
Yeah.
And you will drink the whole cup because there's points where you think like maybe it's just like temperature related, because you've had those cups of coffee where the taste varies wildly with the temperature.
Yeah.
Maybe as it cools off, nope.
And it's like, you go into it, how bad could it be?
It's coffee. It's beans and water. How bad?
Right. Hot bean water. How bad could you mess this up? Wisconsin, you done fucked it up, son. Yeah.
This is
real bad.
This is paraphrasing an old Bill Murray joke, but like basically what they did is they take hot water and they just whisper the word coffee over it. Coffee. And then hand it to you. That's what it is.
You know what? I've got it. Wisconsin coffee is the LaCroix of the coffee world.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's infused with coffee
It's hot water and a truck full of coffee beans.
Not a sponsor.
You're exactly right.
That's exactly what it is.
Yep. I like that. Well, yeah, so we're that's awesome that you saw things from the sponsor end, right? Yeah. So
it was really, really cool. I mean, I'm glad I was fortunate enough to be able to do it, and it wasn't a lot of money for them, but it was something to help them get along and get to the next step.
Yeah,
and it was very, very rewarding. Since I really couldn't race myself this last year, get behind the wheel of anything aside from a few rental carts. It really, really, it was nice to be able to help someone else, take the steps in the right direction, and give them that little extra bit of help. It really, I have nothing else to say about it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
It was really, really cool.
Yeah,
really cool.
Like just there's so much more to racing than just being in the seat driving the car at that time. It's like a rewarding experience, And I think through racing at Road America with you guys, I learned that I don't want to be in the seat on the track.
Right.
I'm happy to autocross. I'm happy to kart. I'm happy to time attack. Stuff like that. But like there's all these like ancillary, and I'm more than happy to den mother the shit out of you guys, like all of these roles just in this orbit, like part of the culture that's so rewarding to be part of, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, even just things like corner workers, you know, like, like that whole
volunteering at an NCCA event and flagging. I mean, I know some people that have been doing it their entire lives, and they've never once wanted to get behind the wheel of a race car, but they love being out there in their white jumpsuits, waving the flags or collecting debris. And the cool thing about that, I don't know if you guys know that, but like most professional level events, the people that work the corners and the flags, they're all volunteers.
Oh, okay.
A good friend of mine back from Illinois, his family was big into flagging and volunteering at SCCA events, and that led him to one summer he spent traveling Europe, and he actually got paid to flag at the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
No way.
And the 24 Hours of the Nürburgring.
That's awesome.
And he has some of the best pictures I've ever seen taken from the ring.
Sure.
He was right at the Flugplatz.
Okay.
So that's a little area on the Nürburgring. I don't know if you're familiar with it, where it goes, if you've ever done the game in a simulator or anything, you go toward the front half of the track, you go down the hill and across that bridge, and it comes up and it levels off.
Yeah.
Where it levels off there, cars, if they're going fast enough, get about a foot of air.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Oh,
So
yeah.
He had amazing pictures of like some BMW race cars that were like 6-8 inches off the ground at full speed. It was.
I can only imagine what it's like to watch like a GT3 race car go through there. Like, that's insane.
Wow. Love it. That's fantastic. That's really cool. Yeah. So
he has been able to volunteer or get paid at every major racing event outside of NASCAR and F1, and that's just because NASCAR hires a lot of people and he's not really interested in it, and F1 is just, it's too much of a hassle for him, so he doesn't want to deal with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's super
That's
cool.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love all these like little, like the more you think like, oh, I know all there is to know about car culture, like the more like tiny little subcultures you uncover.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You unearth an entire like cottage subculture.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. Well, should we do some My Eyes?
We should because since Jake's here in the flesh, we need to talk about some things, because the racer boy kart racer that we knew from the past is taking some turns in his life, and he's picked up some different modes of transportation.
That's true.
So we want to talk about that tonight.
Yes.
But in the meantime, let's talk about some eyes, because I think you've been hiding something from me.
I'm not hiding something from you.
I think you're keeping something from me and from Jake as well.
Well, we're gonna get into it. I saw something and I did not know what it was.
Okay. Oh.
And I was.
Do you want to see if I know what it is?
Yeah, I do. I want to see.
Do you want to see if Jake knows what it is?
I do want to see, and I'm furiously pulling back up the tab that I closed.
Do you want to know if my voice could get higher?
I do.
Do you want to control the blanket fort?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh,
God. Yeah.
Oh, no. Is there a 3-cam and TV?
Yep, right below what we have selected now.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go, buddy.
Oh, God.
Yep,
okay, there it is. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Nice layout, buddy.
Okay, it's in the Dave Don't Look folder. Okay, what's this gonna be?
I'm gonna look.
What's this gonna be?
Okay, I'm gonna go with the wide angle one first after I make all the cameras shake.
Okay, all right, okay.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So it's a very clean Pontiac Grand Prix.
Right.
First of all, from like the mid 90s.
That's late 90s, I'd say.
Late 90s or 2000s?
Early 2000s,
Yes.
yeah.
But there's a weird thing on it.
There's a couple of weird things.
This is the pimple on the face that you see from a mile out that shows up right when it's time for school pictures.
When I first saw it, my first thought was like, man, that's really clean.
Yeah.
And then my second thought was like, wait a second. So what's your first thought when you see this thing?
What is that
wing?
Yeah, what is the wing and what is the little badge right beneath the trunk keyhole? Okay.
We'll get a little closer. We'll get a little closer.
Okay. It says GTX.
Right.
Why?
And I was like, wait, what's a GTX? Because I know what a GXP is.
No, hold on, because there's an SLP.
There it is. That's the key right there. So this is like a super special edition thing. So SLP was the company that made the Firehawk.
Yep.
Really?
And they did a lot of work on Camaro SSs. You could get a whole SLP package for Camaro SSs.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're the ones that did the Firebird thing for the G8, like the tribute package for the G8 that you could get in like 10 years ago or whatever.
Okay.
So the Firehawk was, you could order it from the Pontiac dealer, and it was like a dealer code or whatever.
Okay.
This is, you shipped it to SLP
Really?
after you bought it.
Oh, okay.
And there was like a bunch of mods and stuff to it, and it kind of got like middling reviews. But I gotta say, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
On the road today.
I would get rid of those GTX badges, and then I think it would be perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, although at this point, like, it's kind of, I mean, like, it's rare enough.
I'd like
Yeah.
to see a 2-door one.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it would look a little sharper as a 2-door, but that 4-door definitely adds some sleeper.
Yeah.
To
it.
I've never hated that body style. Like, I mean, it's not a Bonneville.
Yeah. I mean, the interiors of these things were,
You know,
not great.
No.
Early 2000s GM, right?
Right.
Yeah.
but yeah, it was really intriguing. And we were playing right around the speed limit in the mountains on the way back from Keystone.
Okay.
And that's where I saw this guy. And we may have sped up to the speed limit quickly together.
Unison.
A little bit faster than my car.
Okay.
You know, so not bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, and it sounded cool.
What is the engine spec on those? Is it
Yes.
the V8, the LS?
No, that's going to be the 3.8 supercharged.
Yes,
Okay.
it's the 3.8, and so basically what it does.
No wonder it did so well at altitude.
And I don't have I didn't get a good picture of the front, but basically it's a Ram air package. So basically it just like makes the whole thing breathe better. So there's a big like stainless exhaust system that's unique to this car.
Okay.
And then there's a Ram air hood that goes straight into the supercharger.
Nice.
Okay.
And then there's some other there's some suspension upgrades and wheels and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I did notice it is sitting a little lower than the stock one, for sure.
Yes.
And it has the period correct cell phone antenna on the back window.
That's the OnStar antenna, actually.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? I didn't realize.
I used to work at a Buick dealership back around 2001, 2002. That's the antenna for the OnStar.
Interesting.
No way. Okay.
Huh. I wonder if the OnStar is still operational, because that must be a real early OnStar.
Yeah.
You hit the OnStar button and you hear like, bing, bing, you've got mail.
You have to load in a floppy drive of AOL.
You've crashed your car.
Yeah. Yeah. So it says it's about 20 horsepower up from the normal GXP.
Which wasn't bad, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, so
that would be really interesting at altitude for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it says 6.7 seconds to 60.
Okay.
For the time and the money, that's not bad.
Really good. Yeah.
No, yeah. And that's around about what mine is. And then, but he's got forced induction and I'm naturally aspirated.
Right.
So that makes sense that he was he pulled on me a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's really cool, Ian. That's a good spot.
Right?
That's one that could fly under the radar of 99.99% of people out there.
Well, and I saw it through traffic. So I saw it through the tail light at first, and I was like, oh, I know exactly what that tail light is.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's really clean, even just from that little bit.
Right.
And then I saw a glimpse of the wing, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
We must investigate.
And then I saw the badge, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
I had no idea that thing existed.
That's really cool. I didn't know it existed either.
Yeah.
SLP GTX.
Wow.
That's really sweet. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Nice, Ian.
Anyway, yeah, so if you own this thing and you're listening to this show, sorry, first of all. And second of all, that's super rad. I was super excited to see it.
Did you flash one headlight at them?
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. My headlights are fine. They're back ordered
Until April.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yep.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Anyway, but that brings me to an FMK Cars.
FMK Cars is the game that Ian, Dave, and Jake play on the Apex Adjacent podcast. It's based on the classic game of Fuck, Marry, Kill, but instead of playing it with people, they play it with cars. Ian, give Jake and I some cars to FMK.
Okay, I will. All right, this one's called Tune That Car and That Radio. In this, you're going to get a 90s,
That's the appropriate reaction.
90s era, car that was done up by a tuner company.
Oh,
and then a music
From
thing
the 90s?
to go with it. Yeah. Oh, I know you're excited.
Okay.
Right? All right.
Okay.
All right. So the first one, and we'll let Jake answer first since
thank
he's
you.
the guest.
Fine.
You can go next. Relax.
Whatever.
All right. So the first one
Anymore.
will be a 1992 Pontiac Firehawk by SLP.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Third gen.
Yeah. So this one has. Let me see if I can bring it up.
Okay.
It got the V8 with 360 horsepower.
Okay.
It has a 6-speed transmission out of the Corvette. Brembo brakes, upgraded rear end, bigger wheels and tires. It's got Recaro seats. It's got a roll bar in it. So
Roll
like
bar, yeah.
half
Okay.
cage sort of thing.
Wow.
And then you could even get it with a fuel cell.
Yeah, and they were
Jeez.
not all non-T-top cars too for rigidity.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So it was a solid roof car.
Yeah.
Nice. That's what you want.
It's pretty rad looking. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
I really like the color inset on these wheels.
Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a hard time not selling me on this car.
Okay, so
What's the radio cast?
you can have any album you want from 1992. Anything
Okay.
you want from 1992.
Okay.
All right. So
Give us some hits of the era.
Well, that would assume that I had actually.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So now I'm
Googled
gonna
that.
have to Google some,
Yeah.
All right.
some stuff.
So Jake's gonna Google music from 1992.
Okay.
Automatic for the people.
Okay.
Slanted enchantment by Pavement.
Check your head.
Fucking Angel Dust.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
is
wow.
an awesome album.
Sonic Youth.
Oh, hey,
Oh,
the
they're
Chronic.
on Bone
Yeah.
Machine.
Chronic.
Selected ambient works. Okay. All right. So
There's
we're
lots.
We're all
Okay.
good here. We're all good here.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're all old people.
Yep. All right.
By the way.
Okay.
If anyone didn't know.
I've already got my album pick for that one.
Okay.
So, but you have the whole year. You can.
Okay.
You
But
can
he knows the
change
first
it around.
album he's going to listen to.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right.
That
So then the
Far Side
next
album's
one,
fantastic.
1991,
Okay.
Dinin. What do you say?
Dinin is what
Dinin?
Dinin?
That's how I
Okay.
said it.
The 850 Dinin.
DINAN, one N.
Yeah.
Oh, Google
The Dynan
fix
8.
it, Jake.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go to
I
the
didn't know
concept
Dynan
card.
did.
Yeah. Okay.
Go to that.
Okay.
It's,
I did not know Dynan
pretty
made an
badass. It's
850.
twin turbo.
Jeez. Mo money, mo problems.
Yeah.
Thank you, Concept Car Z, for taking us to the mobile site.
So it's a V12.
Okay.
Twin turbo. Brought up to 525 horsepower with the turbo system.
oh wow, they sold one on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah, suspension, Bilstein suspension, lowering springs. They put camber plates in it. Yeah, it was very expensive.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
What did it sell for? 38 grand.
Holy
Just
shit!
a little bit more than a year ago.
That is not much money for what
Not
that is.
for what it is. No.
That's a lot of money for a lot of problems.
Well, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But if you're buying that, but imagine, okay, but
I should have given you $20 before the show to argue on my side of things.
think about that
Right.
versus a Testarossa.
Right. Oh yeah. Are you kidding me?
Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
about the same amount of performance, right? That you would get same era.
Oh, did those only come with automatics though?
This one. did.
true.
Yeah.
Because there was only like 1 year
Where you could-
where the 850s had a 6
Okay, so if
speed.
that was a manual,
they,
that would
they
be
were all automatics though. The 850s, the 840s.
you could get it with a 6-speed manual.
Okay.
But that
Okay.
one's
Okay.
a 4-speed automatic.
Okay. All right. Let's pretend you have the manual. Just look
Okay.
at the pretty pictures, Jake. Don't ask questions about the transmission.
Well, that's gonna
But
gonna
even
help
if
my
that
choices.
Even
Yeah.
if that doubled the price, that's
Yeah.
still a bargain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what it is.
You are correct.
and I think there was only like 50 of them. Something like that.
Nice. Oh, look, the front splitter's cracked. Yeah. Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
What's that whistle when
All
you
right.
go over 40 miles an hour?
So because this is a German car, even though Dynin's a American company, shut up. It's fine. Don't worry
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
Any album you want, as long as it's by Kraftwerk.
Okay. Okay. All
All
right.
right. So you can have any Kraftwerk album anytime you want it.
You going to go see him at Red Rocks?
I really want to.
Okay.
I really want to. All right. Next one, 1996 Hennessy Venom 650R. So it's based
Yep.
off the Viper.
Yep.
We're gonna go a little laterally with this one. So obviously Hennessy is that's a Texas company, famously a Texas company, and this is a very loud, big car. We're gonna go the other way. We're gonna go a post-rock band, Explosions in the Sky, also from Texas.
Okay.
Any album you want by Explosions in the Sky. Post-rock is like ambient rock music, kind of like softer, like ambient, but played with rock instruments.
Is that Beck? Kind of looks like Beck.
Yeah.
It does.
It's not.
Explosions in the Sky is very good. You'll have to trust me if you if
Okay.
you're not.
All right.
Yeah.
We mostly do.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. But you get a Viper.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. Still hasn't changed my
Really?
original idea. Yeah.
Set it and forget it with the Pontiac.
I am marrying that Firehawk. I
Okay.
have always loved third gen cars. I've owned 3 third gen Camaros now, and I've always wanted a Firebird. That Megadeth Countdown to Destruction in the background, 24/7, 365. I'm growing a mullet out, and that's going to be perfect for me.
Yes.
Awesome.
Ripping the sleeves off your jean jacket.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
For a day, I'm going to drive the BMW.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm just going to have Autobahn on repeat.
Okay.
And then
Nice.
I'm going to go ahead and kill that Viper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Before it kills you.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Have you driven a Viper?
No, I have not.
Okay. Okay. You?
No.
Okay. I'm the only one that has?
Yes.
Oh, I'm the weird one.
Yeah. I've also never driven a Lotus.
Okay. Yeah, I managed to wedge this into a load.
I've ridden in an Elise during an autocross run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun on cold tires.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nice. That's a great answer, Jake. Yeah.
What would you do?
I'd marry the BMW. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I know what I thought.
Yeah.
Although I thought maybe you would. I was trying to lure you with the Any album from
I
1992.
figured you were. I figured you were trying to sweeten that pot, but I would definitely, for a day, drive the Firehawk, and then
Okay.
I'd have to kill the Viper too. Viper, one of the scariest cars I've ever driven.
Yeah.
You get nothing, unless I'm sure you're like on 10 tenths or 11 tenths. Nothing. So the most vague, weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the engine torque is so surreal. You know, yeah. It's just, yeah.
Well, it's a big
Odd.
truck engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So weird. Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. Weird, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's continue weird
What
in a
would
good way.
you do?
Oh, yeah. I think I would do the same thing as you. I would marry the BMW, as long as I had a manual. And then I'd crush the Viper and marry and drive the Firehawk for a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never driven a third gen car. Oh, yes, I have.
So,
a Camaro RS.
Yep.
But I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it was just a V6. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. So my best friend from high school still has his 92 RS that he is working on doing an LS 4th gen drivetrain swap
Oh, wow.
with. So it's going from a 305 and an automatic to an LS1 with a 6-speed.
Okay.
And
He's just going to break all the things.
pretty much. Actually, the chassis on them are pretty solid, especially non-T-top cars, and his is a solid roof.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm actually buying the shell off of him. So I'm
Cool.
going to have a 2001 Trans Am project is going to be my next car.
Nice. What are you going to
So-
do for an engine?
6-liter truck motor.
Okay.
Cheap and easy.
Yeah.
Drops right in. Not a whole lot of work needs to be done to put it in there. And then
You should put a Prius drivetrain in and really piss people off.
the sky's the limit though is for what I can do. If
Yeah.
if I want to, de-stroke it, put a 4.8 crank, so I have a big bore short stroke motor which will rev to 8,000, 9,000 RPMs, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cast iron block, so if I want to go turbo, I can do that dirt cheap and
Yeah.
Okay.
very easily make 800 wheel horsepower in that car.
What are you going to make with it? You want to do like drag car? Or are you going to
It's
make it
going
into
to be sort of an all around. It's going to be a street car primarily, something I can run around with. So it's going to have a full interior. But I'm going to use it for autocross, track days, maybe some SCCA time trials,
Nice.
maybe a little drifting.
Yeah.
So
And take it to whatever Radwood you can get it to.
01 is so it's out. It's beyond Radwood.
Yeah, 01. Okay.
Yeah, granted, it's same body style as 98, so I could probably get away with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just do fun stuff with it.
But oh yeah,
Yeah,
I know it's just
yeah.
gonna be a fun all around car.
Yeah, I like that. Like the Swiss Army knife of car fun.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rad. Nice, man. Nice.
You have a my eyes too. You've seen things.
I see things out there on the road, Ian.
I want to see what you saw.
So I want to get your guys' take on one thing. I saw this today. This is a hot piping my eyes.
Oh boy.
Okay, I'm going to do some tab cleanup here. Here we go.
Tabby cat.
All right, here we go. This is what I saw today. This I thought was the most creative way to dodge speeding tickets.
Okay.
Okay? This is a person who I think maybe I have a better picture of this, but it's out of focus because it's focusing on the reflection of my mirror vent. But this person in a Toyota Tacoma, right, has put some action figures on the back of their bumper.
Right.
Recreating the famous scene from Toy Story.
Yeah.
Where Buzz is...
What a great picture. It's like we're seeing Sasquatch.
Where Buzz is saving Woody, right? It even had like the grappling hook.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen that on cars before.
Yeah.
So they have it just barely blocking the license plate number.
I mean, like kind of blocking the expiration a little bit, you know, like, I mean, it's not obvious enough, but it may keep you from getting one weird ticket or one, like keep you from getting pulled over the one time you let your tags lapse. Right?
Right.
If you were that guy in Louisiana who just got pulled over with his stickers that expired in 1997.
What?
Oh, you didn't see that?
No.
Yeah. So the guy in Louisiana gets pulled over. His tags expired in like September of 97.
Wow.
He tells the cop, "Oh, I've just been busy and forgot about it."
That's amazing. Holy shit.
Don't get any ideas, Ian.
I graduated high school after those tags expired.
Me too. Yeah.
Me the year before.
But still, that's insane.
Right?
We're all old people.
Also, do we need to give vision checks for all the cops in Louisiana?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm concerned about their beta carotene levels.
I believe there are active Formula One drivers who were born after those expired
there
as well.
most certainly are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be, right?
Yes, there are, for sure.
Okay, so like where do we stand on like action figures glued to the back of your car?
They're fine.
If it's a daily driver, a pickup or something like that, sure, why not? If it's a show car, that's a little different.
Okay. All right. I'll see if I can upload a higher res version.
I mean, it's fine. It's better than whatever happened with your intern taking this picture.
You just love shitting on mistake my eyes pictures, don't you?
I don't know why. It's just fun.
You get very much satisfaction out of it. How about this one? How about that one? Boom! Look at how in focus that is.
Yeah.
That's why you take more than one.
I think this is a missed opportunity to obscure more of his license plate.
Yeah. Maybe have like the little green alien guys that are like the claw. Yeah, those were always my favorite.
Although then
guys.
you'd get probably a ticket for obscuring your license plate.
Probably. Yep. So there you go. So gluing action figures. I mean, that just basically means you can never take it through an automated car wash, right?
Right. Yeah. Right.
So you do lose that convenience.
Well, I'm guessing from the looks of the truck there, even though he's got some fairly meaty off-road tires, about as off-road as that thing gets is the mall parking lot.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. You're probably correct.
Yeah, you're tracing your steps back on a four-wheeling trail, and you're like, have you seen a Woody action figure back here? Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, get off the trail. Okay, I have one other my eyes, and then that's it for me because Jake's seen some things and we need to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
Yeah, okay, so this is a vanity plate, all right?
Okay.
And it's going to illustrate why punctuation matters.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Okay. All right. It's a Chevy Trax in that weird copper orange that I kind of like.
Yeah.
And the license plate says,
Got kids? I want them. Got kids?
This is already a failed ad attempt because I can just see. I mean, what do you do for the mustache in that case? Like the old got milk,
Right.
yeah.
dripping blood off your face.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
too.
that's no good.
Yeah.
No good. Yeah, so it says got kids.
Yeah. Or it says got kids.
Or it's I got kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Just my excuse is
That's
got
why
kids.
I'm driving a Chevy Trax.
Yeah. That's why I have to drive Lyft to pay for their childcare.
Yeah. So just, is it defeated? Is it triumphant? Is it creepy?
Yeah.
What am I dealing with here? What do I need to know about you as we're driving down the street?
Yeah, I actually like this is one of those ones that like tells you more about yourself
Yeah.
than it does the person who bought it.
Yep.
Right? Because the way you see it right at the beginning is you know what you because to me this is
Rorschach. Like a Rorschach.
Yeah.
Why do they have pictures of my mom on all these license plates?
Oh my God.
It's getting a little hot in the blanketfort.
That's so funny. We're not gonna beat that.
So got kids, everybody. Vanity plates.
And or Dave's mom.
Have you heard about my initiative to scoop people up at the DMV?
No.
Yeah, so I want to start a group of people that stand outside DMVs and they wait for people to come in that are going to get vanity license plates. And then they redirect them if their license plate is, like this, if it's not good enough to pass the bar, which very few are, right? They convince them to donate that money to a charity of their choosing.
DMV interventions.
Yeah.
Just like, I'd like to get a vanity plate and just like people repel down from the ceiling.
I swoop down. Hang on.
You just crash down because you've tried to repel with taffy.
Yeah. Load bearing banana taffy. Yeah. So that's what I want to do. I would have snapped this motherfucker up. I don't know what charity they would have gone for, but there's some adjacent window stickers. Yeah. What?
Oh, that's a Harry Potter sticker.
Okay. All right. Does that make it worse or better?
Harry Potter and Star Wars.
I'm not.
Look at the Colorado flag.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm not sure. To me, so this is my Rorschach test. Is that I view that as in the tone of like the desperate attempt that people will make like on airplanes to make conversation when they don't when silence would be fine
and preferable.
Yeah.
Right. But some people can't sit with it.
Like so they just go for like one of the like biggest net shared experiences.
Yep.
Got kids. Sure, yes.
No, you just say, I did.
Oh my God, I've got to remember that one.
Oh my God, Dave. That's terrible.
I don't know what it is, man. Yeah, apparently I need a little time in the blanketfort tonight.
Apparently.
Yeah, Jake's here.
Got some things to work out.
Showing off for the new kid. Okay, all right. So Jake was showing me some photos on his camera, and besides the shirtless ones, I managed to pick these out.
Good.
So I don't know why you just didn't show me this picture as soon as you walked through the door, just on the phone.
Because I had forgotten about it, to be honest with you. It was from the summer. I was home working in Chicago, and I stopped my car to get this picture. Not that one.
Yeah.
Not that one. Not that one.
Oh, God. Let me kick around. What I did, I don't know. Abort. Abort.
Escape.
That's a motorcycle. We're going to talk about you later. Yeah. How do I zoom out of this stuff? There we go.
There we go.
Now I need to scroll. There it is.
I had to stop to get a picture of that.
Oh, you have to, right? It's mandatory.
I know, like a do not enter sign. It's just like, it's a thing of beauty when you see it.
It's the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
I didn't even realize how dirty that could be, the Wienermobile next to the do not enter sign.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yep.
Sorry, mine's permanently in the gutter. Can't help you.
But I would say that might be the only city that I didn't want to see it in Chicago. Right? I'd be like, they're fine as far as hot dogs go, Oscar Mayer.
We don't need you here.
How about you go to Missouri?
Yeah.
And brighten people's day down there.
Go to one of them communist countries where they put ketchup on their hot dogs. We don't need it here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that you saw the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. I applied to be a driver.
Really?
Yep, they had an application to be a driver. I sent one in.
Were they like, we're fine?
yeah, they shut the whole website down. Yeah, no, never got a response. Yep.
That's a shame.
Yep. What if that was sitting in my spam filter all this time?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Right? Siri, check spam for wieners. Yeah.
Oh, God, let me hide my phone.
Okay, Jake. Since we were at Road America, you have ventured into some areas of transportation that Ian and I are not very familiar with.
Yeah, so kind of preface this, I turned 40 this year, so I went full on midlife crisis.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm about it.
So we'll start out with one of my surprise last minute purchases. I wasn't actually looking for this.
Okay.
But I got a lot of friends who have boats and jet skis and stuff like that, and they spend time out in the water all the time, and I really wanted to join them.
Okay.
So I picked that up, and that is a 96 Mariah Shabbat. It's a 19-foot ski boat.
Okay.
I was in the market for a jet ski. My best friend from high school, again, same guy with the Camaro, I was talking with him about looking for a jet ski. And he's like, my dad's got this boat, and it's been sitting for about 9 years and hasn't moved. It's just sitting on the trailer, and he doesn't do anything with it. Let me make a phone call, and let me see what he wants for it for you. So I ended up picking up a boat for the price of a used jet ski.
Nice.
That's it. You're getting a little bit more for your money right there.
A lot more.
But also, it also costs like a lot more to run, right?
Fuel, yes. It'll cost a lot more fuel.
You have to plate a trailer, but you would have had to do that anyway, right?
Yeah, and it would have been about the same price. The trailers are classed up to 3,000 pounds, which it's all the same for jet ski all the way up, I believe. That stinks in Illinois because the plate registration renewal on those between last year and this year went from $18 a year to $118 a year.
Whoa. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. So
they hit it with that like new adjusted minimum.
They cranked everything up in Illinois, but the boat's pretty good. It's got low hours. It was never beat on. It was pretty dirty when I got it home because it had been sitting, so there was a lot of mold, and the white vinyl on there was pretty much black in spots. So
gotcha.
I probably spent about a week cleaning it and putting it all together.
Okay.
But it's got a 4.3 liter based off the GM 4.3. It's a Mercruiser. It's a high output one, so it sits at about 260 horsepower, which is good enough for if it's just me and a passenger and we're empty, that boat will do probably 55, 60 miles an hour on the water, which is pretty damn fast.
That is fast.
On the water.
That's giggle speed for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, has anybody already named theirs Carrie?
That's a good question.
Shabba Mariah Carey. That's what I would name it. And then I'd have like a glitter movie poster wrap on it.
God.
Yeah.
That would be an excellent prank, actually. To just like,
I haven't officially named it. And now you've got me thinking. I was going to go dark and call it the Slice of Life, like the boat from Dexter.
I didn't watch Dexter.
Oh, you didn't? But I kind of like Carrie.
Yeah.
I think you.
Did I just name a boat?
You just christened my boat.
I love it. You have to fly to Illinois and hit it with a champagne bottle.
Nice. Okay. All right.
I don't know why I never thought of that.
So I have a question about practicality, which I know is a surprising.
Your strong suit.
It is my strong suit.
Okay.
But legitimate question.
Okay.
Which is less of an economical hobby? A boat, or let's say a car like a car that you drive on the street that you take to like autocross?
The boat's going to be more, if you're talking about like a daily autocross, the boat's going to be more because you need something to tow it with.
Right.
Now, if you're looking at a cheaper car to autocross, you're probably looking about the same if you're not looking for anything fancy for the boat.
Okay.
Fuel cost is going to be more, for the boat because it takes more fuel and it uses more fuel. They're not efficient vehicles at all. But yeah, if you go to buy, let's say, if I went out and bought a car for about the same price as I paid for the boat and set it up to go autocrossing and got a trailer and tracked it, you're probably looking about equal.
Okay. That gives me some sense of scale. Because I asked because I've always had like uncles that had boats or like friends that had boats or something like that. And I was basically just familiar enough with them to know that they were constantly stressed about how much it cost. And like, and I know like racing is an expensive hobby, but I kind of can wrap my head around how much that actually is.
So to go along with that too, a lot of the cost of owning a boat is maintaining it.
Yeah.
Now, I have done enough Google and YouTube research on this boat and that engine and the outdrive on it. I'm going to maintain it myself. I did pay to have the oil changed and to have it winterized this year just because I was gone traveling.
Sure.
And on top of that, I also had to replace the propeller. I kind of, second time out on the boat, hit a submerged tree. There was no water skiing or tubing that day. But to give you an idea.
There was no water skiing or tubing that day, children.
To give you an idea of the cost, though, and I'll be open and honest about it, the prop replacement plus the oil change and winterization was $800.
Okay.
Oh, that doesn't seem that bad.
That's a set of tires.
Yeah.
Well, then you got to remember, the tires that were on that trailer were brand new. I didn't have to buy new tires for the trailer.
Yeah. You have higher quantity.
It did cost a lot more to register and title the boat and trailer compared to a car. I will say that much.
Okay.
It was a lot more money than I expected to spend on.
Well, if you have a race car, you'd be in the same boat with the trailer anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's that.
But the boat itself, the registration in Illinois for the boat was hideously expensive because I'm used to buying 15, 20-year-old cars where in Illinois, it's a flat tax of $25. That's not the case with the boat.
Gotcha.
Not at all. It was a lot more expensive. So there were some surprise upfront costs, but now that I've got it paid for and everything, and once I have my shop, I'll be able to do all the work on it myself, maintain it myself, winterize it and everything. I've got a place to store it.
Nice.
So I'm not going to, the costs are going to go down. They're still kind of significant, but I would say it's still cheaper than like going SCCA majors racing.
Right.
Okay.
Considerably cheaper than that, actually.
Okay.
The interior looks amazing. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, not at all.
I was just going to say you probably get more hours of enjoyment out of that per dollar.
And that's part of the reason I went with the vehicle choices I did this year because of my travel. I still have my cart. It's all ready to go racing for the most part. There's a little bit of maintenance that needs to be done, but with me being gone, I'm gone a month at a time. I come home on a Friday afternoon, and I'm leaving to go to the next town or go back to where I was working before Monday morning.
Right.
So I literally have 2.5 days to try and prep my cart, get everything ready, get it loaded up, get to the track, go racing, get home. I still haven't done laundry yet. I haven't barely spent any time with my dogs. I haven't gotten anything done with this and the next vehicle we're going to be talking about, I can hook my truck up to the trailer, go down to the street, and hopefully, knock on wood, here in a few months, I might be able to just walk out my back door and push a button and have my boat in the water.
Right. That makes sense.
That's awesome.
I get that calculation totally.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It also gives you an opportunity to delve into the mystical world of marine audio.
It's funny you should mention that because the boat came with an AM/FM cassette player because it's from '96.
Okay, all right.
And it was completely untouched. Everything was factory on it. So I had, like I was talking before, I've owned 3 third-gen F-bodies, and I had a Camaro that I was going to start building. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a rust bucket. There was a lot of hidden rust that the previous owner legit sanded smooth and spray painted so you wouldn't see it.
Oh my God.
I'm not even joking. He got me good on that one. But because of that and the parts car I had bought for that car, I had 2 stereos.
Okay. Yeah.
So I grabbed one of the CD players that actually had a USB port on it and put it in there. Got it all wired up. plug my iPhone into it. It's such an old CD player, it doesn't recognize iPhones.
Right. Yeah.
So I bought a $100 boombox that does Bluetooth that I carry around in the boat now. And through work, we actually get rewards here and there for stuff. And I got a pretty decent award for saving the company some money over the last few months. And you get points.
Yeah.
You go to a website and use those points to buy something.
Yeah, I have the same thing, yeah.
I found a full Marine Bluetooth head unit and replacement speakers.
Nice.
So I got that for free shipped to the house. It's sitting waiting to go in the boat in the spring. So.
Nice.
It was always the area of like the Crutchfield magazine or the catalog that I would kind of leaf through like Marine Audio, you be crazy. Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah. It's a whole other world.
Because you got to realize this stuff's got to be UV proof. It's got to be saltwater proof. It's got to be freshwater proof. It's a lot more expensive for quality speakers.
For our buddy PETA, right, that sold me the Vigan, he's from Maine, right? Obviously, heavy boating culture, right? Mm-hmm. His father has a boat. We built like the iPod that I rebuilt with the flash storage and everything. Yeah. So I built PETA's dad an iPod for his dad's birthday, right?
Nice.
And he sent me an email and told me about like how I solved his Marine Audio setup.
Oh, no kidding.
Because of that iPod. So he had an older head unit that you would fit an entire iPod, like the 5th, 6th, 7th gen iPods in, and then close up, of course. Mm-hmm. But the iPod that he had was, the hard drive and it was overheating. Mm-hmm. But you're so into the setup that you have and it's so expensive, like he would just like let it cool down and then put the iPod back in, every now and then. And
you
then
just dunk it in the water to cool it down.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Right. And so, so like you get so ingrained into like setups like that are specialized,
Well, on top of that too, and it's something that for right now, I don't have to worry about it. I've got my 100-watt boombox that I bought off of Amazon that works amazing and is plenty loud for the boat.
Right.
I'll carry that with me. But if you want to sit, anchored somewhere or swim, you want to have the radio on, that's a big drain, and you don't want to be left dead in the middle of a lake or a river. Right. It's happened to my buddy before, and he had to have somebody tow him all the way back to his trailer, and it was a whole nightmare with jumper cables and pulling the battery out of his truck, and
oh my God.
Just to get it on the trailer. So
and then there's the whole so I used to wakeboard a little bit, and there's the whole
I never knew this about you. Wakeboarding, Ian.
I was not good at it. I was not good at it.
Floppy hair and neon on a wakeboard?
Yeah, I was not good at it.
Oh man, I need to see you in a wetsuit.
But anyway, so they have
they also bleach. I need to bleach that from my memory.
They also have the big speakers,
the tower, that
point backwards so you can listen while you're wakeboarding.
Yeah,
and I thought about putting a wakeboard tower on the boat, but the looks of it and the lines of it, I just think it would take away from the design of the boat.
Well, and this isn't the right boat for wakeboarding either, right? Because you need to have the bags and stuff.
Honestly, I could make it work. I could put some ballast in the back, and it's already got a pretty decent wake as it is.
Okay.
It's just I don't want to mess with the line.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you got to get the boat deeper in the water.
Well, and I could put trim tabs on it and everything else. So I could make it a wakeboard boat. It's got the power for it, but I just like the way it looks, and I'm not going to be serious about it anyway.
Sure.
So when I first started learning how to wakeboard, my friend had bought a boat, and it was kind of this style, like ski boat, and we didn't know what the hell we were doing, and so we would go out, and to get a good wake off of this style of boat, you have to be going like 20, 25 miles an hour, which is about 10 miles an hour higher than you want to be going when you're wakeboarding. Like you want to be going about like 15
to 18,
Yeah, 15 to 18 miles an hour.
Gotcha.
So we were going like 25 miles an hour plus to get like a decent size wake. And when you fall at 25 miles an hour,
concrete.
like if you catch a toe edge at 25 miles an hour, and you do like one of these, like the board stops and you don't. Oh my God. I used to hit so hard my contacts would fall out.
So I for the first
so
time
much.
since high school, I was out on my buddy's boat this summer, and I attempted to water ski. Since the last time I water skied was my sophomore year in high school.
Okay.
And I was about that. I was halfway decent at the time. I'm not anymore. And to ski, you do need to be going 22 to 25 miles an hour. So to make matters worse, we were on a small lake. It was the 4th of July weekend.
Choppy as hell.
It was the worst water. I mean, it was so choppy. I actually finally, on my 5th try, I think it was, I got up.
Okay.
But then the boat hit somebody else's wake, and it caused slack in the rope, and it just yanked me face first into the water.
Oh, that hurts so much.
Oh, it was not fun. I swallowed about 1.5 gallons of lake water, and I was done at that point. My hips hurt for about a month because I'm old now.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I saw that Pontiac, I on the way back down from the mountain, I was snowboarding, and I did the thing that you don't want to do, which is crash underneath the lift line or underneath the chairlift. And I actually I had accidentally ended up in a mogul run on a snowboard, which is not the best.
No.
Yeah, that's fun.
And so I was chaining them together, and I was doing really good. And then I screwed up my line on one, and kind of just caught the edge of one enough to have it throw me up in the air. And then I bounced off of 2 moguls. It still hurts. Still feels like I'd been in a car crash.
And did people on the lift make fun of you?
Oh, yes. Yes, they did. And I just wanted to be like, do you know how old I am? This is going to hurt for weeks.
I like that.
Yeah.
So besides being the first person to talk about boats on the podcast, we also want to talk about motorcycles.
That's still a boat.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
There's Jake's motorcycle.
So that is a 2019 Harley Davidson Street Bob.
Okay.
So it's for 2019, 2018, it was the entry level for bigger bikes.
You really are doing Midwesterner midlife crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Just
bingo
hard.
Yeah.
Well, again, I have a bunch of friends who ride motorcycles, street bikes, cruisers, the whole 9 yards. I had originally went to go look at a different type of bike. It was a smaller entry-level Harley called the Street Rod. So it's a little 750cc V-twin.
Oh, just
more of a street. When I tell you how big that one is, you'll understand. So it was a 750cc V-twin. I took it for a test drive, and I just wasn't comfortable on it. So I started looking at Sportsters.
Like how?
So I didn't like
not enough bike, or
it was plenty powerful. I liked it. It actually, for a V-twin, it wrapped up high RPMs. It would go up to it would redline at 9,000 RPMs. So a V-twin, that's pretty high. I liked the way it sounded. I liked the way it rode, but like the foot position. So it wasn't mid controls like that is, and it wasn't rear controls fully like a street bike. It was somewhere in this middle ground.
Okay.
So my legs could not get comfortable.
Sure.
So I looked at a Sportster, which is the entry level cruiser from Harley. So the one I was looking at was the bigger of the 2 engines they offer in the Sportster. It's a 1200cc.
Okay.
And I used to own one way back in the day. I had one when I was in the Army, and I liked it. But I know how they ride. I know what I'm capable of on a bike. And I started thinking and talking to my buddy that came with me to look at them. He's like, you should really look at one of the bigger bikes.
Okay.
Because you're going to get really bored with this really fast because it just doesn't have the power. It's comfortable to ride, but you're knowing me and how I am, you're going to want something with a little more power.
Gotcha.
So he lead me toward these Street Bobs, and the first couple I looked at were completely bone stock. And I liked them, and I talked with the dealer, and he's like, well, you're a veteran, and you're a previous Harley owner, so we're going to give you some discounts. So walking around the dealership, I found this one that has what Harley calls its Stage 1 kit already complete on it. So it's got freer flowing intake, loud exhaust, and computer tune, because these are fuel injected.
Oh, okay.
And it's 107 cubic inches, which roughly equates to 1,750 cc's.
Jesus.
I actually
It's a Ford Fiesta.
I did the math. It's 1/4 of a 427 cubic inch big block Chevy.
Jesus Christ.
I got the dyno sheet because they did do a tune on it. It sits at about 102 horsepower and 106 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah. So it's a Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, with like 1/4
It
of the
weighs,
weight.
I think, 575 pounds with me on it.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
The way you see it in that picture there, it is not how I brought it home. I don't think I shared a picture of you with it stock.
Yeah.
It came with a really tiny solo seat and it did not have the cowl on it. Of course, the front turn signals were amber as well. So first couple of long rides I took on the bike, it was excruciatingly painful.
That's a hardtail?
Softail. It's a softail.
Okay.
So it's got a coilover basically mounted under the seat where you can't see it. It looks like a hardtail, but it's actually it is sprung and supported.
Cool.
But the seat that came from the factory on it was a solo seat, so it was literally looked like almost like a tractor seat.
Gotcha.
And it had about that much foam on it.
Oh man.
So it was very, very rough. The first 100+ mile ride I took on it, about 55, 60 miles in, any chance I had to stop, stand up, stretch, work the knots out of my back, anything. It was extremely painful. So I spent a little bit of money. The company I went through was Whiplash Speed Co. They make custom seats, and I actually custom designed that seat myself.
Nice. I like the stitching on it. That's really cool.
It's got a lot of memory foam in it. And
there we go.
Very, very comfortable. Much better. The first longer ride I took on it as well, it ended up almost snowing that day, and I was not prepared for it, so it was very cold. But the big thing I noticed was I spent a lot of time on the interstate that day, and I was doing 75, 80 miles an hour. And the way you sit on the bike, it's got mini ape hangers, so my hands are up here, and I'm wearing full leathers, so I acted like a parachute, and I was literally having to death grip the bars because if I passed a semi going in the other direction, it wanted to pull me off the seat.
Gotcha.
So I didn't want a big full windshield. I didn't like the way they look on those bikes. So I found that small cowl, and it's just enough to break the wind where I can go highway speeds and still be comfortable, and I don't feel like I'm going to get blown off the bike.
Gotcha.
And the last thing I added to it, I needed tunes. So I added a pair of MTX speakers with 100 watts of audio and a Bluetooth player. So I can hook my phone up to a Bluetooth. And I got a little mount on the handlebars to my left that will hold my phone at highway speeds. It won't even move. So I'll put GPS on there if I'm going for a long ride or somewhere different. And then I've got it Bluetooth right to my speakers. And you can't see it on that side. On the other side of the bike from the factory, there's a little USB port.
Okay.
For charging your phone.
Yeah.
So I run a little cable up to my handlebars, my phone's charging the whole time. I don't have to worry about it going dead.
Nice.
So I got audio, I've got GPS, I've got everything I need.
So with that Bluetooth receiver, does it have the same restriction that it does on all the other Harley Davidsons where it will only play the Eagles, or is that fixed in that one?
No, that one it's aftermarket, so it'll play
It'll play Eagles and Creedence. Thank you.
And ZZ Top.
Okay. Well, good. That's awesome.
That's really cool, man. Yeah. So you went away from bike culture for a while.
Yeah.
Right. You had a Harley before. Got back in.
Yeah. I got out of it. My dad was really big into Harleys for a long time, and he had a couple of pretty nasty wrecks on him. And to make matters worse, the last time I rode his bike, I was stupid. I wasn't wearing a helmet, and I was on some back roads because they were usually quiet farm neighborhood area of Illinois. Usually you get on the back roads, there's not a whole lot going on. Well, this is early 2000s, and texting was really becoming a thing.
Okay.
So I'm without a helmet on my dad's full dresser, big bagger bike, and I'm doing 70 miles an hour, and here comes some 16-year-old girl, literally like this the whole time, and she's 6 inches off my back tire.
Oh, my God.
So I cracked the throttle open. Next thing I know, I look down. I'm doing 110, and I got about a mile ahead of her. I lifted off, slowed back down, expecting there's no way. Well, sure enough, I mean, she must have just sped up as soon as I did. Because she got right back. This happened 3 times before I finally got to the point where I could pull off on the shoulder and flag her by. But that right there was enough to kind of keep me away from motorcycles. That plus my dad's couple of wrecks. It kind of scared me away for a while, but...
That story could have gone so much worse.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Well, and for the young people out there who don't remember or don't know, texting back then before smartphones was you're hitting one number several times.
If you wanted an S, you had to hit the number 7 4 times.
Yes.
There was no text to or speech to text.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Siri was just an annoying aunt at that point.
But yeah, so it got me out of it. But started talking with some of my friends who've been riding for a while now, and they're like, they let me know that the atmosphere has changed. It has gotten better.
Okay.
Yes, there's still idiots out there.
Sure.
But I mean, just about every state in the country now does a lot of campaigning when it is warmer out to watch for motorcycles.
Yeah, we do out here.
And I'm not one of those guys that's doing 95 miles an hour weaving in and out of traffic.
Sure.
There's no lane splitting in Illinois, and even if there was, I probably wouldn't do it anyway.
Yeah.
So...
Unless you're just like walking through a traffic jam.
I did have one close call this last year where a lady just wasn't paying attention. We were at a 4-way stop.
Yeah.
I stopped and started going, and she started going, not paying any attention. Quick pull into the clutch and rev the engine, and then my buddy on the R6 behind me revved his engine, and we both kind of gave her a dirty look, and I think she was a little bit more scared of me than I was of her, but it got the point across, and it kept me from getting hit. So
I like from cycling culture, right? Like,
you get it.
Yeah,
and you don't have the added noisemaker feature that I have.
That's just me. Just me hopped up on electrolytes.
Just my existential rage.
Exactly. But like, there's roads that it's like I could ride there, but I'm not going to. It's just not a good fit.
Yeah.
Right. Like having that kind of mindset about it,
Yeah, and I don't even really stick to like interstates very often. A lot of times, it's more fun to be on the 2-lane blacktops and get out. There's a really nice state park about an hour drive from me, and it's about an hour and a half if you stay off the interstate.
Yeah.
And it's a gorgeous ride, and it goes right along the Illinois River. So I mean, that's the route I'll usually take. I'll try and take the less populated roads for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I've come across so many large groups of motorcycle riders when I've been out, like, climbing back through Deer Creek Canyon and stuff. And like, it's always like, I've never had a problem with motorcycles like back that way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think it's like, we're also vulnerable.
And that really does what it comes down to. Yeah. We all watch out for each other, especially on bikes. We're always one to watch out for each other.
Now, so there was a weird thing that happened to me. We're not going to get into it, but no, there was a weird thing.
Penicillin will take care of that.
There was a weird thing that happened to me when a buddy of mine drove me around in a Lamborghini Aventador for a day. For some reason, more than any other group of people, like Harley riders were stoked to see us and gave us thumbs up.
Interesting.
And I don't know if it's just like, we're also kind of absurd and like
it could be more. It could more or less be you're also able to see the riders better than people in cars.
Okay. Yeah.
I know. Like the first time I saw Mark V Supra, I was on my Harley, and the guy definitely saw me waving at him and giving him a thumbs up.
Gotcha. So, okay. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
That's a good theory.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Well, we're super thankful that you're here, Jake.
Well, thank you.
I'm surprised we didn't like in the show, but I know you have an FMK cars for us.
I've got that and one other motorcycle to talk about.
Oh, that's right. We have another motorcycle to talk about because not only gas-powered motorcycles, electronical-powered motorcycles. Oh, God, how do I do
Electrons.
this?
Yeah. So, because I bought a Harley, I got on Harley's mailing list, and that right there is the 2020 Harley Davidson Live Wire. It is an all-electric motorcycle.
What kilowatt battery?
Yes.
Okay, it's got those.
Know.
Okay,
I'm not really sure about all the specs.
It's a sweet looking bike.
It's a very cool looking bike. It's actually pretty comfortable. The seating position and the foot position on it was much better than like the street rod that I was talking about before. very, very cool. Like they've got a really nice user interface on it, the Bluetooth to your phone.
Okay.
So you can control your music that goes, if you have Bluetooth speakers in your helmet, it'll Bluetooth from the bike to your helmet, and you can control the songs through the interface on the bike.
Yeah.
And it'll give you your turn-by-turn GPS on the interface of the bike as well.
Okay.
It's really cool.
It's like CarPlay for a bike almost.
It's got several different modes, similar to like, I like to call it, it's almost like a Tesla on two wheels.
Okay.
So it's got several different modes. I was on a short ride with it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And I didn't mess around with the modes. I went into straight up normal mode. However, there was a sport mode.
Okay.
The difference between normal and sport is normal mode, when you hit the throttle right off the bat, as you first start rolling, you only get about 80% of the torque, and then it ramps up to 100%. Mm-hmm. In sport mode, it gives you 100% of the torque right off the go.
Okay.
I did watch somebody light up a back tire and pull the front wheel off the ground in sport mode.
Okay.
It was fast enough for me as it was. The interesting thing about the bike that caught my attention, though, because before you get on the bike, you have to go through sign waivers and all this stuff. And they actually have one sitting on dyno rollers for you to get a feel for the bike. And it has regenerative braking. Fairly significant amount of regenerative braking.
Okay.
Which, for me, the first question when I was on the rollers and I lift off the throttle and I felt it, I'm like, wait a minute, does this do this all the time? Because more so than a car, on a bike, balance is everything.
Yeah.
And anything that's going to throw off the balance.
Mid-turn.
And that was what I was worried about. And he said, honestly, the way the computer system is set up on this thing, you got nothing to worry about. And I went ahead and got a little wild and tested it.
Okay.
So I was doing about 45, 50 miles an hour in a good lean, not like full lean knee dragging, but about halfway there. And I lifted off the throttle while I was leaned, and it kept the balance just perfect. I had no problem.
Does it throttle the regen, as for lack of a better term?
Like bring it in progressively.
Less regen when you're leaned, or
it didn't feel like it. It just the way it's. I mean, I think it just kind of slowly ramps it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
More, it's more gradual than like a Tesla.
Yeah, because I would think that hybrid weight transfer just would be.
And that's what I was worried about. But the more I rode it, the more comfortable I felt on it. And
that's really cool.
It's cool. They're supposed to have about 110 miles of range.
Okay.
Which, for a motorcycle rider, that's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
Especially for somebody who's Harley's target demographic, because we all like riding 200, 300, 400 miles in a day.
Yeah, but I mean, 100 miles and then a 20-minute break. That's not bad, right?
It will charge 80% in about 25 minutes.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's not terrible.
Yeah,
it's about right. That's kind of the pace that motorcycle riders do anyway, right?
It does kind of intersect with like. I think like the electric vehicle like range anxiety kind of like intrudes a little bit on like the Harley freedom like culture, right? Like I can kind of see those butting heads a little bit.
Yeah, and having, yes, it can plug into a standard charging station.
Right.
But if you're out in the middle of nowhere,
where you want to be on a Harley,
what are your chances you're going to come across a charging station? So then you've got your backpack and you've got to have a 110-volt cable and find somewhere that they're going to let you plug it in for an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's like the urban Harley enthusiast.
And they're trying to increase their demographic because, let's face it, most your stereotypical Harley riders aren't going to be able to ride much longer. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're trying to increase the demographic. This is the first step that they're taking toward electric. They're supposed to be have an entire line of electric bikes eventually.
Right. Okay.
I think this is a good start. However, the price point of this thing is something that definitely needs to be talked about. That bike starts at $30,000.
It's a lot for a toy. I mean,
you roll up on a Harley.
It's a lot for a Harley.
Yeah.
I mean, that is customized full dresser territory. That's big cruiser touring bike.
Yeah.
For something that can go 110 miles and you got to sit for 45 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good start. If they could bring the price point down.
Right.
And still keep it about the same with the same features that has, I think that it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But until they can figure out a decent way to make that bike cheaper, I think it's going to be a flop.
Well, and there are cheaper ones on the market already.
Right.
There's considerably cheaper with more range and more power.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, electric bikes are really intriguing. Really cool.
There was somebody that was hopping on one outside of my work downtown one time, and I could tell he was kind of in a hurry to get going. He alarms were going off, and he had a bunch of guns and money. But he just looked like he was, he had something to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have stopped and asked him about his bike because it does seem kind of interesting. I don't think I would ever get one, but it does seem kind of interesting. I don't ever see myself owning a motorcycle, but that one, I was like, I want to know more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to get a motorcycle. Electric motorcycles are really interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I'd ever let you buy a motorcycle.
I know. You and 3 other people have told me no. But whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, trust me, all my aunts and cousins, with the exception of one who rides a Harley, has been freaking out about it. But it's great bike, just not worth $30,000.
What are the rules for motorcycles, Jake? Always wear a helmet.
I don't always do that, but
Jake,
I know my own dad gets on my case.
Oh, Jake, you got to wear a helmet.
The number one rule for riding is you have to pretend that everybody out there doesn't see you and doesn't know you exist.
Exactly. Yep.
And as long as you do that, you're pretty much going to be fine. There's always the outliers and things you have no control over. But the number one thing is just pretend like everybody out there has no idea you exist and you're there.
Gotcha. And wear a helmet.
Yeah. Very, very true.
Dead Mother Dave. Back out.
But while we're on the subject of motorcycles, this brings me to my own FMK cars.
Awesome. Look at that.
All right, let me pull up the list here. All righty, so...
You going to run Google or you want me to
run Google? Sure.
All right,
Good call, Ian.
Since we're on the subject of motorcycles, I figured I'd give you guys, and I'm going to be nice, there's going to be no caveats with this at all.
Okay.
Although, Dave, I will warn you in advance, none of these cars have a roof.
Okay.
They're all open-air cars.
Son of a...
But they're all cars that are powered by motorcycle engines.
Oh, okay. All right.
Interesting.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There's a smart car with a Hayabusa.
Close, not quite. A little bit better.
Okay. All right.
So this is something I've actually seen a lot of. It's a Lotus 7 kit car with a turbocharged Hayabusa motor.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So turbocharged Hayabusa makes what,
350, 400 horsepower.
Yeah.
And it's a 6-speed sequential transmission.
Yeah. That's probably enough.
Yeah. And a car that weighs about 1,200 pounds.
Yeah.
That'll do.
That's good.
That'll do.
That'll do, big.
All right.
Okay.
Car number 2 is the Morgan 3-wheeler, because that is an S&S version of the Harley twin cam engine on the front of it.
Oh man, I need to drive one of those in my life.
I know, me too.
If anyone listening to the show has any way for me to drive one, you need to get a hold of me.
Yes.
I almost chased the guy down on one back home. He was driving it down the road. If I wasn't working, I was going to follow him and just ask to get some pictures of it.
Yeah.
Those things are so cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Amazing.
All right.
Okay.
Car number 3 is the Radical.
Okay. Yeah.
And those are...
What's the engine in that?
Gixxer 1000 or Hayabusas, and they have the SR8 is actually a V8 made out of 2 Hayabusa engines.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
Yeah. So we'll go with the SR3.
Cool. Okay. Oh, only 3.10 to 60? Come on, Jake.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
And you can get those street legal.
Okay.
They're primarily track toy cars, but you can get them street legal.
Okay. All right. Ian, you want to go first?
I'll go first. I am going to crush the Radical.
Really?
What?
Yeah. It's just too serious for me.
Okay.
It's too serious.
I like that. You want something with a little bit of absurdity.
And I would marry the Lotus 7 kit car. Because that's still a crazy fast, crazy capable track toy.
Yeah.
But it's not got a ton of downforce.
Right.
It still would be just fun. You could drift around in it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that would be a better thing to live with in the
Okay.
Radical. And then, of course, I have to drive the three-wheeler for at least a day.
What would you do with the three-wheeler for a day, Ian?
What would I do I would just drive it in the mountains. Like,
Okay.
just drive it around the mountains and probably, crash off of a cliff after the first turn. But, it'd be great.
Okay.
That's what I would do. What about you, Dave?
I think I would marry the Morgan three-wheeler.
Okay.
Because I think if I'm doing something this absurd,
Yeah.
like I want to go all in.
Nice.
Right? And then I think for a day, I would drive the Radical. Just
Okay.
because, jeez, right? That has to be nuts.
Yeah.
I think that if I had the Morgan three-wheeler, I would want to do an all-weather Morgan three-wheeler. Like, can you imagine that with a set of studded ice tires?
Yes.
Okay, that would be crazy.
Right? Yeah. Huh?
That would be, or just skis and one studded ice tire.
There you
Oh my
go.
God, yes.
Yeah, Ian, I like this. Now you're thinking.
Yeah.
How brakes work?
Right. Yeah. Because yeah.
Just slam it in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
okay.
much.
Okay. Yeah. That means I'd have to kill the adorable little Lotus, but
Yeah.
that's a good one, Jake.
What would you do?
Yeah.
I would have to marry the Radical.
Okay. Wow. We went all different.
Absolutely
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah.
And the Morgan three-wheeler for a day for sure.
Huh. Okay. All right.
Okay.
How am I the only one who crushed the Radical?
Yeah. Of all
I'm surprised
people.
at that.
Yeah.
No, I did. I think that does speak to you, though. Like, you want to do something, but you don't want to do it so serious. And
Right.
have people think you're that serious.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's more about people's expectations than you in that car.
Could be.
Because if you could just drive that on a track where no one would ever see you.
Oh yeah, it'd be all about it.
See, there
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, you don't want to be. That's the other, you don't want to be the guy who shows up to a track day in a Radical, a full. You don't want to be the
That's
guy.
bringing your own pool cue to the track day.
Yes,
Right?
it is.
Right?
Yes, it is. That's exactly
See,
right.
what I like about the Radical, though, is just like somebody who would buy a Lamborghini.
Right.
They buy it more for the looks, and they might take it to the track here and there.
Right.
What's going to turn people's heads more? A full-blown Radical that's on the road or a Lamborghini? Who's going to look at what first?
That's
Right,
true.
right.
That's true. But again, I'm not really all about that. I'm all about just I want to have fun personally, and
Yeah.
I
Right.
really don't want to interact with anybody else.
Right. I like that. I like that. Well, so where would people see something about the book? Would they see it on Twitter?
It'll be on all social media.
Okay.
I'm still quite a ways out. I'm still doing some research. It's probably going to be 6 months to a year.
Okay.
I thought I was going to get it done a lot sooner. Turns out writing a book takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it's real tough.
Effing tough.
It's real tough.
So it's gonna be a while yet. So obviously all social media. I'm gonna let you guys know. RacersHQ.com.
Okay.
Just search RacersHQ. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's all there. It'll all be there. It'll be hopefully here soon. I'll be able to get back on the podcasting wagon.
Nice.
And getting some more articles out. So just keep your eyes
If you need
out.
some idiot guests for your first time out, hey!
Wouldn't mind a Den Mother episode, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would 100% do that. And I on the back burner, I have a written piece planned on about
sweet.
For something like that about how I learned to love racing by not racing.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right.
We'll talk off the air about
Yeah,
that
like I have
one.
nothing
Yeah.
else to do, Ian. Edit all the goddamn videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, you looked at me like, what the fuck, Dave?
Do that. Make it happen. Why isn't it here now?
But the important thing is, tonight, what are we going to do?
We are hopefully going to go karting.
Yeah.
And then we're going to wrap this episode up and say, we love you.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching or listening.
Absolutely.
And follow us on the media social.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks for having
you.
me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.